There are no words. I can't even believe it. We're 10 years old, and the room is full with people who are coming to learn about what we do and to learn about peace, and that is so inspiring. And with everything that's out there in the world and the violence that often surrounds us, to be able to see a room full of people who care and to be able to share that with our children and our children's board here means so much. Thank you for being here and celebrating with us. We're 10 and the same age as many of our students. Yeah. And just like a child who turns 10, I really feel like I'm 10. I'm really excited and I'm really proud. And I want to look back at where we started. I look back at when this was all just a dream, and I'm amazed. And I stand here and I look out, and I'm so grateful for all the support that made the last 10 years possible. And of course, today is about looking forward to the future. And I want to look at the future with all of you and invite you to be a part of what we do. So I'm going to go back to before we were born. We were born in 2000. But the seed was planted long before that. When I was 9 years old, I made the exciting decision with my family to attend an experimental magnet school in Los Angeles that was going to focus on diversity. And then when I was 15, I had one of those life-changing weeks that I hope our experience will be for all of our participants. I attended a diversity-focused overnight camp in high school that brought high school students together to address issues of difference, and it blew my mind. And it also showed me that waiting until high school is waiting too long because prejudice is already too deeply ingrained by that point. And then as a college student, I had the opportunity to go to Germany with a bunch of Jewish students, and as I say that, I realized that one of the people who was on that trip is right there. Yeah, went on that trip, another life-changing trip with me. We went with other Jewish students who had lost family members in the Holocaust. And side by side with German students, we met with former Nazis to discuss what had happened. And it really got me thinking about prejudice, hatred, and violence. Now, at this point, I was already familiar with the concept of the pyramid of hate, which we're going to have right here in a moment. This idea that an act of prejudice can lead to discrimination, which leads to violence, which leads to genocide. I knew about that, but I didn't really get that. When I was in Germany, I got it and really started to understand how a little simple act of prejudice can lead to horrific violence anywhere. These experiences and a mutual desire to make a difference sparked years of conversation with my college classmate and now my co-founder and our board president, Margaret Goey-Hodder. Can we give her another round of applause? This woman works tirelessly. There you are. Behind the scenes, this woman does so much and supports us all. So from these endless dialogues, the Mosaic Project was born. And it was, and it still is now, based on a very simple idea that children need to know that peace is possible. Studies show that people start to exhibit prejudice between 2.5 and 8 years old. So we cannot wait to teach children about conflict resolution, diversity, being peacemakers in their community, and yet we're the only program that we know of doing this work with young children in a residential setting. Studies also show that our schools are as segregated now as they were in the 60s. When I tell many people that, they don't believe that. But that's true. Here in the Bay Area, too, our schools are extremely segregated. And I believe that this segregation is just flat out dangerous. And this is why. At Mosaic, we add these bottom levels to our pyramid of hate. We add separation and lack of experience with people different from you. And that leads to ignorance and fear, which leads to prejudice, discrimination, violence, and genocide. And then, of course, all of the violence and discrimination leads again to separation, and the pyramid becomes self-perpetuating. The work of the Mosaic Project is to dismantle this pyramid of hate, working at each level, beginning at the very bottom, and we do it very strategically. Research in contact theory shows that that's how it has to be done. It is not enough just to bring people from different backgrounds together and throw them together. They have to come together for a prolonged period of time, work on common goals, and address issues of prejudice head-on deliberately, exactly what we're doing. And yet again, we're the only ones we know of in the world that we know of now that is doing this work with children. We bring together children from diverse backgrounds, and we give them the tools necessary to dismantle this pyramid brick by brick, conversation by conversation. And after working for 10 years with close to 5,000 students in our outdoor school, we see that it works. Our students learn that their skills and their actions matter because we're all interconnected. Our actions affect each other, reverberating outwards to our families, our community, and ultimately the world. So every single conversation, every single reaction, every single interaction can make peace possible. Peace is not some grand, fuzzy concept so far removed from us that we can't do anything about it. It begins with us, with the quiet contemplations in our own hearts, the words that come out of our mouths, the expressions on our faces, and the actions that we take daily. As my friend Cameron on our children's board, Cameron, where are you? There he is. Oh, there you are. As Cameron has told me more than once, Mosaic is peace on earth. Yeah. Our students don't just learn about peace, they taste it, they experience it, they create it. They don't just believe that it's possible, they know it is. They don't just learn to dismantle the pyramid of hate, they learn to transform it. Check it out. This was created by a few of our fourth grade students from North Oakland Community Charter School. This is their creation, their vision of what's possible. I'm not sure how well you can see that in the back. We have work well with all kinds of people on the bottom. Have an open mind, speak up, listen to others at the next level. Don't put people you don't know in categories. Give people different than you a chance. Love, equal, peace. And like our students, we're focusing on the positive, on what's possible. Despite negative forecasts, we remain hopeful. It's not that we're not mindful of the times. Usually almost half of our income comes from our program fees from schools, and the other half comes from equal parts from foundations and individual donors. But school budgets have been slashed, and many of our schools cannot contribute what they used to. And many foundations have lost as much as 1/3 of their endowments, and our funding from foundation grants dropped significantly in this last year. So individual donors are the only way many nonprofits will survive, and yet all of us are hurting in this economy. But we still believe that we will be able to continue to expand our base of support rather than cut programs. Yes, we are streamlining administrative functions. We are diversifying our funding schemes. We're doing all the things that strategic community-based organizations are doing to keep their doors open and their work advancing. And we also dare to dream in the face of it all and to work towards what we know is possible, because nothing is more important than peace. Thank you. So I want to share our dreams for the next year and our vision for the next decade with you, because this is a magical room. I know when I share dreams with people in this room that they can become a reality. They've become true. People in this room have helped us to reach close to 15,000 young people through our outdoor school, youth leadership, and in-school projects. Your investment in our work has provided a great return. 3 years ago, I stood right here and I asked for support to develop our youth leadership project into a program that served teenagers throughout the year, and people in this room made it happen. And then, thanks to the support of people in this room, we got Shireen Badawi, our curriculum and training director, and as you've heard, that was a pretty good present. And as you've heard, our in-school project is well underway. So I want to share with you what we want for our 10th birthday. And it's our big birthday, right? So I have lots of wishes here. And I can tell you because I didn't blow out the candles, so I think I can still tell you, right? All right. So first of all, we want to weather the storm. We know that prejudice and hate are not going to shrink in this storm, so neither can we. It's just not an option. Yet we've had to give our staff unpaid time off and cut back hours to make ends meet. We do an incredible amount of work with our small staff of committed, often part-time, hard workers and volunteers. I can't think of any other organization that serves as many people on as profound level as we do on so little, and I am not bragging at all. I actually think it's kind of insane, and we simply need more staff hours if we're going to reach our potential. It's also our dream to bring our in-school project to all 28 of our Bay Area partner schools who currently attend our outdoor school. We're piloting the comprehensive program in 6 schools right now, and what we'd like to do is bring that number to 12 in the next year and then build up. And here's the big dream. We wrote this one down in your programs because it's a big one. By our 20th anniversary, we plan to be talking to you from our own land. In the next, thank you. That's the big one. In the next 5 years, we want to find that land nearby, maybe even in Alameda County, right up there in the hills or a little over the hills, really close by, where we can run year-round programming for our students, alumni, and their families, and where we can realize our vision here in the Bay Area. And then we can become a model for replication elsewhere because we believe that there isn't a place on the planet that doesn't need the work that we do. With your help, we'll move through these challenging times and our doors will stay open. Our work will continue through the next decade and beyond to touch the lives of thousands of children, and they will continue to make peace possible. If we are to reach real peace in the world, we shall have to begin with the children.